Okay. We are going to go through overview. Kindly start reading from the invocation only translation. I think one devotee can read. I want to hear all of you. So one devotee can read invocation, another devotee mantra one, but all of you kindly attentively listen. Just because you want to read something, sometimes when we plan to read something, we are not attentively listening to other people. So be attentive and listen to the other people also. Very good. Read it. Anyone can start. Invocation, another person. Or I'll call out the name or something. Okay. Okay. We have 12 participants and we have 14 mantras. Including me is 12. Okay. Abhishek Sinha. You see, kindly go to the participant list. And first is Abhishek Sinha, invocation. Then Akarshak, first mantra, Ayan Mandal, second, Disha, third, Divyarupa, fourth, Jayalakshmi, Jivesh. Now, our assignment now is to have an overview till 13th, 14th, what we have seen. Okay. That is the idea now. So, all of you kindly listen and understand. That's all. Okay, start with Abhishek. Abhishek, second invocation, Akarshak, first sloka, Ayan Mandal, second mantra, Disha, third mantra, Divya Rupa, fourth, Jayalakshmi, fifth, Jivesh, sixth, Om Govindarai, seventh, Preeti Priyanka, eighth, Santosh Nitai, 9, Sadanandini, 10. Okay, do this first and then again Abhishek will start. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Invocation Mantra Sri Isopanisad. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because He is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance.
Mantra 1. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong.
बोल देता हरे कृष्णा आयन प्रो इज इन मीटिंग एनी वन अदर डिवोटी कैन कंटिन्यू
You read instead of him, Abhishek.
Mantra 2. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man.
The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance.
Mantra 4. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all other running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him. Although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain, he surpasses all in excellence.
Mantra 5. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of everything.
Mantra 6. He who systematically sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being.
One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks in quality, one with Lord, becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him?
Mantra 8. Such a person must actually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without pains, pure and uncontaminated, the self sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Those
Someone
who
in the yeah, read it, read it.
those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
The wise have explained to us that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and it is said that a different result is obtained from the culture of science.
Abhishek, who's that? And next, Akarshak.
Only in Mantra 11, only one who can learn the process of science and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessing of immortality.
Those who are engaged in worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more, so do the worshippers of impersonal absolute. It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. Somebody read this for 14. Who has come now? Dishava, who has come now?
Mantra 14. One should know perfectly the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge.
Thank you. So the overview, we already saw that actually how the supremacy of the Lord and everything belongs to the Lord. And the one who is in conscious of this fact, of the presence of Lord and ownership of the Lord, and that man is not bound by karma. But a person who doesn't accept this fact, he is going to go what into a darkest region. That can be hell or lower planetary system or lower species of life. So he's called killer of the soul. And then Supreme Lord is a person that we saw that personality of Godhead is swifter than, is very powerful, he is very active. And he comes in Archa form for us to worship very kindly. He's approachable. So his potencies, powers are inconceivable. All this we saw. So one who systematically sees in everything in relationship with the Lord, in this we saw that through the Dhira, spiritual master, one has to understand the Supreme Lord. That person will never hate anything or any being. So then we also saw Mahatma. These are all the qualities of Mahatma. Then knowledge is told. What is knowledge? What is ignorance? With Krishna, everything is with knowledge. Without Krishna, everything is a ignorance. Whether it is be Vedic or not Vedic, whether it is be scriptural based or not scriptural based doesn't matter, because many fruitive results based activities are happening. Impersonal philosophies are coming out. All these are, they are quoting Vedas. So just because somebody is quoting Veda or posing himself as a religious person, it need not necessarily take elevate you to higher platform. It may degrade you also in the if even though it is a Vedic system. It is not without Krishna, everything is knee science. So that is understood. To become an unalloyed devotee of the Lord and to accept a spiritual master and become an unalloyed devotee of the Lord are the primary aspect of knowledge. Hmm? That we saw there are many aspects of knowledge, one characteristics, and all the character and quality is developed by becoming devotee of the Lord by through an authorized disciplic succession. We are connected with an authorized disciplic succession, and then we worship unalloyed, become unalloyed devotee of the Lord. Automatically, all good qualities of the knowledge is coming, and darkness, ignorance flies away. Hmm? So this is the overview, and and in this process of explaining this, it is very clearly told that the worshipping means knowledge, ignorance is very dangerous, but more dangerous is wrong knowledge. The wrong knowledge can be either materialistic knowledge or it can be Vedic knowledge. Both wrong knowledges are there. So one, in the materialistic knowledge, we saw that sometimes we think that he is uneducated. The educated is better than uneducated. No, but Prabhupada is explaining very clearly in purport, and Ishopanishad Sloka itself is explaining an uneducated crowd is far more better than a wrongly educated crowd. So the wrongly educated crowd are of two different types, or three types we can say. One is like materialistic persons, and the second and third are the Maya Abhagrita Jnana and Veda Vadarata. We saw that they take the Vedas and give interpreted meanings. And Maya Abhagrita Jnana says that the Supreme Lord, we are all God only, self-made gods. So that is Maya Abhagrita Jnana, and they say that we are all God, I am also God, you are also God. And now God is under Maya, so he doesn't know he is God. So the God is under Maya. Like this, the Maya Abhagrita Jnana. So these are all some dangers, and pseudo religionists are there. They are giving wrong ideas about the Vedic literatures and the so-called the religion, all this. So these are all the dangers. And then there is another set of people. Now we are eradicating all the wrong paths. So here there are people who says that all the path leads to the same destination. So no, before that, it is said that we have to know both spirituality and this materialism. Now, somebody may ask, Mataji, why can't you discuss only about Krishna? Why you are talking about other people? Why you have to blaspheme them? They are running their business, let them run their business. No. So, Mantra 11 says that no, a person is has to know what is knee science, what is this body, what is material, what is spiritual. This discrimination should be very, very clear. Was it satsanga? What is asatsanga? Both we should be very clear. Only then we can get out of this bondage. The reason is we are in the material world. So we are bound. And then we saw that the mantra 12, that those who are engaged in the worship of demigods, they enter into darkest region of ignorance and more dangerous. One danger is, okay, I worship, somebody worships demigods. So they go to demigods and the demigods treat them as servant. That is another jiva and this is another jiva. So one jiva tries to lord over another jiva like this. So reaching the demigod planet or going to another planet is not the ultimate aim. The ultimate aim is to get out of this material existence. So how to get out? Rather than running from one dark corner to another dark corner. That is he told. And the more dangerous is, more than worshipping demigod, danger is worship of impersonal aspect of the Lord. In one sense, the demigod worshippers, of course, they worship foolishly the demigods for temporary benefit. Prabhupada is very shortly writing about it. But about impersonal absolute, he is very nicely warning us that if you take up anybody who's describing God as impersonal, is one sense is a Gnostic. What do you say? Atheist. Atheist openly says that God is not there, and another person says that God doesn't have a form. In this, somehow or other, they want to kill God or kill the existence of God, or the concept of God is removed from the ordinary people's life. This is very, very dangerous to mention. The God doesn't have a personal form. So this is the danger where this mantra is warning us. And some people say that all of us reach to the same place. If you do Paramatma, Brahman, you do yoga process, you all are reaching to the Bhakta, also reaching. Bhakta is also addressing the same God. Everybody addressing same God, only same aspect. No, each destination is different from each other. So destination is different for each from each other. This has to be understood very clearly. So that during that destination portion only, it is mentioned that people are running from one area of the dark region to another area of dark region in the 13th verse. And in the 14th verse, it is very nicely mentioned. Yesterday, some people were absent. So that time we saw that we need to know everybody. We need to know the Supreme Lord also. And the Krishna has external, internal energy, marginal energy, and external energy. Internal energy is spiritual world, marginal energy is this material world, and there are animals, birds, and various reptiles, and all bodies are there. We are marginal energy. We actually belong to the spiritual world, but somehow or other we got entangled in the material body. Now our aim is to get out of this and go back to Krishna. This is our aim. So we should know that we are bound. Not that only I will know devotional, but I also would know that how I am bound. It's not that only I will know material. Oh, how I am bound. Sometime if you take, it's very, very dangerous that people chew upon, even taking up Krishna conscious book, they chew upon the material aspect and project it rather than the spiritual aspect. So we should be very, very careful that Krishna is always kept in the center. Not that he need to be kept in the center. He is the center. He is in every atom. He is in everybody's heart. And he is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this material universe. And so there is nothing away from Krishna. So if you discuss any topic which is not related with Krishna, that is somewhat dangerous, because everything is related with Krishna. So we already saw in the introduction, Veda means knowledge. So any knowledge will come under Veda. Every knowledge. Even though material knowledge, I gave an example of creating a fridge or something. That is also coming under Veda only, because the quality of the matter is described in the Veda. And people take the various items and they assemble it and say that I created. But the overall idea of the entire creation is done, and the creation related elements and their active, how they behave, everything is the dharma of all the elements are all given there to Brahma. Then so, but Krishna Bhagavad Gita saying, then purpose of the Veda is to know Krishna. And the Veda is created by Krishna. So Veda is Sarvair Ahamiva Vedya Vedanta Krit Vedavit Eva Chaham. So Aham, Krishna is telling, I am the purpose of Vedas. I am the creator of Vedas. I am to be found in Vedas. I am Veda. He is not saying that I am Veda. Krishna is a person, you should always know. But he's telling the purpose of the Veda, if you have any knowledge, in the material world, we are not able to directly perceive Krishna. But our aim is to search for him, or to approach him, or to connect with him. This is the purpose. If that purpose is missing and anything else, that becomes science. So all the paths doesn't lead to the same destination. And here it is explained that one can actually go back on permanent life. Everybody is looking for permanent life. We also saw that people try to Hiranyakashipu with the present body in the material world. He wanted to permanently live. And in the same purport, Prabhupada is mentioning a permanent life is possible. It is not impossible. It is natural tendency. Nobody wants death. It's natural because we don't die. So we have to attain that position where our body, original body, doesn't die. So we have to have that body alone. When we lose that body and we not either lose or we shrink the activities of that body and get into the external energies given body, then we keep on changing bodies with birth, death, old age, and disease. But when we acquire our own body, then there is no possibility of birth, death, old age, and disease. Then we surpass the death, and we get into the spiritual kingdom of the Lord. So for that, we should know Krishna properly. So Krishna, internal energy, external energy, margin energy, everything we should. Okay, so in 13th verse, there is another 2, 3 paragraphs we didn't see. So let us go to the mantra 13. So all the paths doesn't lead to the same destination. By worshipping demigod, you go to somewhere, and and if you worship Krishna, you go to the supreme. Supreme you worship, you go to supreme, and you worship demigod, you go there. You worship ghost and goblins, you go there. Then you worship Pitrus, you go there. Wherever whom you are thinking of your entire life, in the next life you go there only. That is why Prabhupada is asking us to practice throughout the life the Krishna consciousness. It's a regular practice is required, because at the time of death, whatever you practiced only will come. Now, Prabhupada wrote a book, first book Prabhupada wrote was Easy Journey to Other Planets. Because people were interested in traveling, and they were telling the man landed in the moon. Now we will go to Mars. Oh, they went to Mars. Wow, is there somebody living in Mars? People are very, very eager. So there is a very easy method in this. It is clearly mentioned. If we worship Krishna, then we'll go to Golaka. Then we may think, oh, maybe I may not have the experience of other planets. No, we have had. We have been bird, we have been reptile, we have been demigod. Sometime we were Indra, sometime we were Brahma. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Ji, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata. We have traveled. We are the greatest travelers. We have traveled in various vehicles into various places, but within the universe. Various vehicles. What are the vehicles? Sometimes bird vehicle, sometimes we are spirit soul, we are not the body. Sometimes insect vehicle, sometimes bird vehicle. We have traveled into various species and various places. Sometimes we lived underwater life as a fish. And then sometime we flew in the sky. Wow. Have you jumped in the parachute? Why parachute? I have lived in the air only. I was a bird. I was various varieties of birds. Not one bird. And like this, various experience. Now the question is, oh, will I miss all these experience if I go to Goloka? No, there is something called an ascending process, something called a descending process. When Krishna comes here, avatar is mentioned, descending. Whereas when we try to go in Sputnik or something to other planet, it's so difficult to just to create a vehicle to travel there, and only selected people will go there. And the people in the other planet may allow, may not allow you and push. Hmm? There is an example given of Tirisangu, who would like to go to the other planet with the same body. And then the Indra never, then he asked Durvasa, then Vishwamitra. So the Vishwamitra, there was a drought, okay? There was a drought and everybody was hungry. There was not enough food for everyone. That's called drought, okay? So when during that time, this one king was there. He was also into very pathetic state, but he used to keep some food for this Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra was able to eat it and survive. The king was getting some little food, and he was so the Vishwamitra was so happy with the king. Later he came to know that the king is only keeping secretly the food for him. So after the drought was over, then he said, "What you want?" That the king was body was so deteriorated due to the drought. I think he even got leprosy or something. Very very bad body. But then the Vishwamitra asked me the any boon I'll give you. Then this man said that I want to go to Surgaloka with the same body. Okay. So he sent him. Then due to the power of his yoga shakti. Then this person went there. His name was Tirisangu. The Tirisangu is the king. Then king, but now he is not the king, because due to the drought, everybody became ordinary. So this man went there, and then Indra didn't allow him. With this human body, you cannot come here. That too, full of a very diseased condition he was. And demigod planet, they have beautiful bodies and all that. And then sorry, and he sent him back. So this Vishwamitra became very angry. I sent him, why you are not receiving? I will create a separate planet for him. Tirisanga Sorga, equivalent to the planet of demigods. Like this. They say that even the cow, which is the original Kamadhenu, so then he created the buffalo. That is how the buffalo was created. And various animals and birds and everything. Then immediately Indra said that, no, no, don't do that calamity and all. I will accept him. So I think somebody was changed and later he was accepted or something. The story goes somewhere. But the people, they would like to travel with the same body, which is a wretched body. Why can't, if you want to go to demigod planet, why can't you have a demigod body? Such a kripana, such a fool's murga. Murga means the most foolish, like an ass. Hmm? They want to hard work with the same body. Another example Prabhupada is giving. There was a fisherman, and this fisherman, he was every day from his hut to, he has to walk till the boat, and in the boat he will go to the ocean and he will catch the fish. So that time he was sitting and dreaming, if God comes, I should ask for a boon. Hmm? It's very, very hard to walk from my home to the boat. It is very, very hot. So if I get lot of money, not God, I'm sorry. If I get lot of money, what will I do? I'll ask God. God will come and tell whatever you want, then I'll get lot of money. So if I have lot of money, what will I do? I will cover the entire beach with carpet. You want to, so very, very simple solution Prabhupada is telling, he just need to buy a slipper. He just need to buy a slipper for himself. Rather, he would like to cover the entire beach with a carpet. He's sitting and dreaming. He's thinking like this. So our thought process is, okay, with this body only I'll go to spiritual world. So this is, sorry, not the spiritual world, this Sorga. So in this way, the material, the desires of the living entity are very kripana. They very short. It's a Kali Yuga. It's mentioned Kali Yuga. The brain is very tiny and no proper intelligence, but want to high things, big things. And it is like this man. He's thinking they cover the entire. So Prabhupada is giving this example how this fisherman is thinking. Hmm? So foolish. Hmm? So let us build if complex solution. They think that the complex problem have a complex solution. Complex problem have a simple solution. So the simple solution which is given is you just this ascending process is that Ravana tried to build a staircase between Sorgaloka and Bhuloka. These are all Herculean tasks and it is Ugra karma, very heavy task. Instead, we just worship Krishna. And then we worship Lord Gauranga. Then we go into Goloka Vrindavan or with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is back home, back to Godhead. And from back home, back to Godhead, when Krishna is descending into this world in Varaha, Vamana, Nashima, we come with the Lord and we are really enjoying with the Father in various, even in other species. We enjoy with that species. Krishna comes in all species. But that is descending. That is called avatar. Descending, participating in the pastime of the Lord will be our eternal constitution. Yesterday, somebody asked me, Akarshak asked, why, what is that? What was the question? Why should we preach like that? So if you are not preaching, if you are only performing devotional service, then you will be part in the spiritual world. You'll be with Krishna and various pastimes are happening permanently, Nitya Leela Pravesh. But at the same time, if you're a preacher, when Krishna is coming avatar, you'll also come along with him. And then in the material world, we will never fall because we have tasted prema. A person who has tasted prema will never. So prema is very, very rare. Liberation is very easy. Going back home, back to God in various is possible. By even worshipping Vishnu, one enters into Vaikuntha Loka planets where there is no birth, death, old age, disease. But prema is the topmost aspect which is given only by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Krishna comes as Keshavadrita, Hari Rupa, Keshavadrita, Vamana Rupa. So that particular Keshava, when we are attached to Krishna, then we descend. So that is authorized entrance to anywhere, rather than trying to go up and up and up. So directly get connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And and get your eternal constitutional position. And then this is mentioned in there is Sanatan Goswami is mentioning about this, that how from the Vaikuntha planets people fly away and they come to the material world and various universes. They go for preaching, they go and give association. In this way, various activities they do outside also, because they are free and they are completely liberated and they have tasted the affection for Krishna and they will never give it up. So traveling within this dark region of the universe is the most foolish thing one will desire. Like if I say I would like to, oh, what will be in Tapoloka, what will be in the Bilaswarga, what will be in the demon planets. I want to see, whatever you want, Krishna will give you. He will give you, go back, go into that species and live. And from there, you will think how it will be to go to another place. So other side of the, when you're always they say a proverb that in the river, you're standing on this side, other side is always green. Other bank of the river looks always green. When you cross and go to the other side, when you look back into your own bank from where you came, and that river bank will look more greener. Oh, I thought that side is green. So when you're standing at a particular side in this way, so running hither and thither within this universe and getting many information about this universal affairs, what is the use? And even getting more information about the Goloka Vrindavan, what is the use? There is no use. You just need to develop love for Krishna. That is your eternal constitutional position. Automatically, you will be situated in Goloka and you will directly perceive everything, which Lord Chaitanya proved is in his Antya pastimes, in the later pastimes. He showed that how a sincere disciple and a devotee is automatically entering into the spiritual world and is really seeing. You just will be able to see and perceive even when within this same body, provided you're sincerely practicing and following the principles of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. Very nicely, happily executing Krishna consciousness with his own free will, rather than by force we are chanting, by force we are doing something. Because I need, because I want that, because I want this. Instead of that, very happily loving Krishna like a child loving their parents, not because like that. And happily when we are doing, we casually pravesh into Krishna is so pleased. So he will just take us and show the vision. And it is so easy because that is our natural home. That is our natural body. So the overall idea is to worship the Supreme Lord and then go there. So Narayana is the source of everything, Rudra, all these things we saw. And the last portion, because we are entering into the end lesson of Isopanisad, which is 15, 16, 17, and 18. That is a section. Before that, this verses, I think this portion we didn't cover. We didn't read also, I think. Yeah. Maybe you can read from here. Somebody start reading.
The living being is perpetually suffering in different types of bodies from the material miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. The human form of life offers one a chance to get out of this entanglement simply by re-establishing the lost relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. The Lord comes personally to teach the philosophy of surrender unto the Supreme, the Sambhuta. Real service to humanity is rendered when one teaches surrender to and worship of the Supreme Lord with full love and energy. This is the instruction of Sri Isopanisad in this mantra. The simple way to worship the Supreme Lord in this age of disturbance is to hear and chant about his great activities. The mental speculators, however, think that the activities of the Lord are imaginary. Therefore, they refrain from hearing of them and invent some word, jugglery without any substance, to divert the attention of the innocent masses of people. Instead of hearing of the activities of Lord Krishna, such pseudo spiritual masters advertise themselves by including their followers to sing about them. In modern times, the number of such pretenders has increased considerably. and it has become a problem for the pure devotees of the Lord to save the masses of people from the unholy propaganda of these pretenders and pseudo incarnations. The Upanishads indirectly draw our attention to the primeval Lord Sri Krishna, but the Bhagavad Gita, which is the summary of all the Upanishads, directly point to Sri Krishna. Therefore, one should hear about Krishna as he is by hearing from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this way one's mind will gradually be cleansed of all contaminated things. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 says, by hearing of the activities of the Lord, the devotee draws the attention of the Lord. Thus, the Lord, being situated in the heart of every living being, helps the devotee by giving him proper directions. The Bhagavad Gita 10.10 confirms this. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. The Lord's inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart of all contamination produced by the material modes of passion and ignorance. Non devotees are under the sway of passion and ignorance. One who is in passion cannot become detached from material hankering, and one who is in ignorance cannot know what he is or what the Lord is. Thus, when one is in passion or ignorance, there is no chance for self realization. However much one may play the part of the religionist. For a devotee, the modes of passion and ignorance are removed by the grace of the Lord. In this way, the devotee becomes situated in the quality of goodness, the sign of a perfect Brahmana. Anyone can qualify as a Brahmana if he follows the path of devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.18 also says, any low born Any low-born person can be purified by the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, for the Lord is extraordinarily powerful. When one attains Brahminical qualifications, he becomes happy and enthusiastic to render devotional service to the Lord. Automatically, the science of God is unveiled before him. By knowing the science of God, one gradually becomes freed from material attachments, and one's doubtful mind becomes crystal clear by the grace of the Lord. One who attains this stage is a liberated soul and can see the Lord in every step of life. This is the perfection of Sambhava, as described in this mantra of Sri Isopanisad.
On that, Sat. Thank you. So, we already saw that the living entity is suffering in different type of body. Why we say we are not enjoying in the bodies, rather we are suffering because it's not our natural position. Second, the jada undergoes, the non-living aspect undergoes deterioration. We saw that there are 6 kinds of changes the body undergoes. So unnecessarily we are getting into trouble. Where it's not our nature to deteriorate, we are eternal. Nityatva is there permanent. We are permanent persons. Eternity, knowledge, bliss, Sat Siddhananda, we say. Sat is eternity. It's our natural position. We don't die. What a good news. But we get into death, we get into disease, we get into trouble. To maintain the body, we have to work, we have to earn, we have to buy things, we have to again maintain, again clean the things. Oh Krishna, what a janjat, all this nonsense. Just to maintain this body alive in between birth and death. There is birth and there is death, and in between we need to maintain the body. For that, all arrangements. And somebody want to maintain it in 1-star level, somebody 5-star level, but it's a struggle for existence. So, but this human form of life offers a great chance. Get out of the entanglement simply by re-establishing the lost relationship between and. So, how will I get back? Oh, how will I go back to Goloka? Why do you want to Goloka? You will automatically enter your home provided you are connected with your father. But you don't want to connect with your father, but you want to go back. That is not possible. Because that is your father's home. So, the relationship with the Supreme Lord is the primary aspect. Once you do that, automatically you are in Goloka. You will enter Goloka because it's your home. Now you are with Father. So the Lord comes personally to teach this philosophy of surrender unto the Supreme, the Sambhuta. Because we are ready to surrender to anybody and everybody, even the demigods. If I get some temporary benefit, go and surrender to him. The word surrender is something serious. It should be used only, it should be used, and surrender of a particular person should be done only for Guru and Krishna. Not anybody, demigods, anybody. So the Lord comes personally and he's sending his representative, represent. So they represent the Guru. So real service to humanity is rendered when one teaches surrender to and worship of the Supreme Lord with full love and energy. So we were discussing what is preaching. The definition of preaching is given here. Preaching is not I will tell this, I will tell that, I will not tell that point. No. The overall idea of service, this is service is to teach us to surrender to and worship of the Supreme Lord with full love and energy. That's all. This is the instruction of Isopanisad in this mantra. So, simple way to worship the Lord in this age of disturbance is to hear and chant about his great activities. So, talking about the great activities of the Lord is the real preaching. But the mental speculators, however, think that the activities of the Lord are imaginary. So they want to talk every other subject other than Krishna. Sometimes they say that I'm doing a scientific presentation. Total neophyte. I've seen people that I'm doing a scientific presentation. And when we say, okay, then Krishna is in every atom, this is science, and Krishna is in everybody's heart. No, Mataji, it's about scientific presentation. So we are not talking about Krishna. What kind of science is that? That is knee science. That is why we have to read Isopanisad. I'll tell you why we are reading Isopanisad before Bhagavad Gita. There is a purpose, there is a reason why I chose to first teach Isopanisad. Because Upanishad came first, then Purana came, then came letter of devotion, letter of instruction is for a devotee. But there is no science without God. But people think the science is without God. That is knee science. Already we saw in the mantra. So knowledge of Krishna is real knowledge. Krishna Sambandha Vijnana. That is why Prabhupada always calls this science. The Krishna consciousness, science. He will never call Krishna consciousness a religion. He will never call it. So he says that religion without philosophy is also not perfect. Philosophy without religion is also perfect, not perfect. Both religion and philosophy come together. Affection for Supreme Lord with a base and clear understanding scientifically. So we are not simply sentimental fools who worship Krishna. Okay, bhajan hum karenge. All this Hare Krishna people are bhajan people. No, of course. But we have a base. We have a clear scriptural understanding. Who am I? Who is God? What is internal energy? What is external energy? I am martial energy. My constitution, I am bound like this. This is material world has three modes of material nature. That is material nature. I am my spiritual nature is Satsadananda. And my constitutional position is servant of Krishna. And there's various affection one can develop with Krishna and hearing about him, chanting about him. In this way, I can connect with the Supreme Lord. There is other people who are trying with yogic and other processes. And that is utter failure. Without Krishna consciousness, it's utter failure. And they will try and try. At last, they will understand, okay, Krishna is only supreme. Everything we know. Clear. Very, very clear. So, the mental speculators, they think, therefore, they refrain from hearing of them and invent some word jugglery without any substance. Sometimes you hear some lectures without any substance to divert the attention of innocent people. There is a religious organization. In India, it's very, very famous to have large religious organizations. And they will have word jugglery, they will crack jokes, they will do so many things. But there won't be substance. And they will divert the attention. So instead of hearing the activities of Lord Krishna, such pseudo spiritual masters advertise themselves by inducing the followers to sing about them. Sometimes they sing some unnecessary bogus song, or they sing about that particular person who invented that institution. One person now is dead, but earlier, oh my God, everybody was singing about that person from Andhra. They keep singing about his name, saying that he is the incarnation. But the incarnation died now. Now the organization is missing totally. So in modern times, number of such pretenders increase considerably. And it has become a problem for the pure devotees of the Lord to save the masses of people from the unholy propaganda of these pretenders and pseudo incarnations. So much, see, we want to actually preach about Krishna, but we are not able to fully talk about it because of the disturbance which is created by this kind of pseudo spiritualist. So we need to save them also. So sometimes even I have listened to some devotees saying that, Mataji, why we need to talk about them? We will talk only about Krishna. No, if I'm cultivating I'm sowing the seed of devotion and I'm cultivating, then I need to have a fence also, so that other animals or something doesn't come and eat this. Same way, our devotional creeper is growing. In the initial stages, it is very tender. So it has to be protected. But protecting is not the only aim. The aim is to cultivate. But protection is a side by activity which has to be done simultaneously. So the pseudo incarnations and pseudo pretenders, mental speculators, so they are very, very dangerous, and we need to keep telling that that is not authorized. What to do? And our aim is not to defeat them, so and just to prove our point. That is not the intention. Intention is really, really heartfully to save the mass of people. That is the intention. And one more thing, why Ishopanishad is covered now? If you read the Ishopanishad verses, you won't directly see Krishna. Directly, of course, you will see Krishna in slokas because of the purport of Srila Prabhupada. But if you see the translation alone, specifically the name of Krishna or something will not be mentioned. Rather, it will be mentioned like Supreme and all that. So here you see the first line, the Upanishads indirectly draw our attention to the primeval Lord Sri Krishna. Actually, it is also pulling us towards Krishna only, but in an indirect way. So that is why Vyasadeva was very dissatisfied, and Narada Muni came and told, why do you want to hide Krishna and then you write like this and Vedas and become dissatisfied? You directly write about Krishna, boldly you write, Krishna is all attractive, and try it. Try it. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Upanishads indirectly draw our attention to the primal. So we that is why I don't want to touch Bhagavad Gita and then come to Upanishad. Rather, we touch Upanishad first. So you understand that there are pseudo religionist people and everything. There is what is science, everything. So Vedas, and the essence of the Veda is Bhagavad Gita. Amazing essence. 700 verses. Veda, so many thousands and thousands of verses. And in Kali Yuga, people, we are short-lived. It is impossible to read. And even if you read, they indirectly draw the attention to the Supreme Lord Krishna. But in Bhagavad Gita, which is the summary of all the Upanishads, so you don't require to read all the Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita is a summary of all the Upanishads. It directly points to Sri Krishna. So now we are going to go into Bhagavad Gita. After these 4 slokas, we will go into Bhagavad Gita. Before starting Bhagavad Gita, I would like to give a preliminary course to Bhagavad Gita, which is based on the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So that you will have a clear idea of terms and terminologies which are used and all that. And after that, we'll enter into Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, one should hear about Krishna by hearing from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, one's mind will gradually be cleansed of all contaminated things. So we will, Bhagavad Gita is in Bhakti Shastri course, and Srimad Bhagavatam is in Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Vedanta course. So this is the line we are going. So what is the progress of a devotee? What is the methodology in which we will progress? So non-devotee to a pure devotee. If there is a non-devotee, is not a devotee yet, how he will become a pure devotee, top class prema he will get. How to attain this? What is the process? Very simple. When somebody is a new person, they are invited to Bhakti Vriksha classes. Bhakti Vriksha sessions are conducted by initiated devotees in weekly 1 day, where the elementary lessons of Krishna consciousness is given from mostly the small books of Srila Prabhupada. That's a separate syllabus. And then when somebody undergoes that, at the end of that, it will go almost 1 year. By that, at the end of the 1 year, they'll be chanting 16 rounds. Maximum 1 year or 1.5 years. And then they will be taking initiation at that time. And then once they take initiation, after that, they also would like to start the same class. But before that, they simultaneously, they have to also progress. Becoming a teacher is one thing. You have to be a student always. So to be a student always, start doing Bhakti Shastri course. And in the Bhakti Shastri, one will get a degree after the initiation. After one gets the Bhakti Shastri initiation degree, then he will go for the Brahmana initiation. It is mandatory, it is not optional. How first initiation is mandatory, same way the second initiation is also mandatory. So they will go for the second initiation with the Bhakti Shastri degree. After taking the second initiation, then they can both take Bhakti Vriksha as well as Bhakti Shastri courses. They do teachers training course, and they become eligible to guide their those who came in the Bhakti Vriksha to become initiated devotees. They guide, and then they start doing Bhakti Vaibhava. So always you're a student. First you still read Bhagavad Gita systematically. Of course, you will read one time Bhagavad Gita when you have to take initiation. That is part of the program. But systematically reading in order to teach, that happens in the for a Brahmana, that is a qualification. Brahmanas, one of the main qualification is to be good in scriptures, scriptural understanding. So the Bhagavad Gita, Isopanisad, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and this nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction is considered to be a proper Shastric education. And then you are a Shastri, Bhakti Shastri. Then you are a Shastri, then you can qualify to take Brahmana initiation. The same 16 rounds, same regulative principles added with this Shastric understanding, then you become a Brahmana. This is the process. And then from the Brahmana, you become Bhagavata. Bhagavata is high class Vaishnava. So then we start reading Bhagavatam. So only I will become a student only. No, simultaneously you must be a student. So each one teach one while being taught by one. Each one teach one while being taught by one. Like that is the concept. So you'll be teaching previous courses when you progress into the advanced course. So when you're going into the advanced course, you're the teacher of the previous course because you've gone through the entire process. Then you become qualified to teach. So when you become Bhakti Shastri, you are an expert. Then you can teach Bhagavad Gita. But before that, you cannot teach Bhagavad Gita. You can teach some elementary lessons, and that too in a systematic way, not in a haywire way. So in this way, one has to become Brahmana. That is here, this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning how it is important that one become a Brahmana. So here, the Upanishads indirectly draw the attention of Krishna, but Bhagavad Gita is the summary of Upanishad. So directly points. Therefore, one should hear about Krishna as is here in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. In this way, mind will gradually cleanse of contaminated things. By hearing this, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, we see every day, every time, regularly. So Srimad Bhagavatam says, by hearing of the activities of the Lord, the devotees draw the attention of the Lord. Thus, the Lord being situated in the heart of every living being. So when you continuously hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then what will happen? The Lord will turn and look at you. Now you are Bahirmukhi, you are not looking at Krishna, Krishna is not bothered about you. Indirectly, he is managing you. But direct attention of Krishna, we need to divert. Prabhupada said that don't try to see Krishna. Act in such a way that Krishna will see you. Very simple. So when we Sravanam, when the activities, when we hear about the activities of the Lord, keep on hearing, then what happens? The devotee draws the attention of the Lord. See, amazing point here. See here. By hearing the activities of the Lord, devotees draw the attention of the Lord. Thus, the Lord being situated in the heart of every living being helps the devotee by giving proper direction. So this is Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Tenamam Ubayanti Te. So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, I give them the Buddhi Yoga. I give them the Jnana. So don't need to search for knowledge. Krishna Jnana Deepena Bhashvata. Prema Bhakti Jahan Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jaite. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Divya Gyan. There is Jnana and there is Divya Jnana. Transcendental knowledge is different from knowledge. Knowledge is information. Collect information. I know that. I know this. I know. Collect information. You like IT technology, we say information technology. No IT professional devotee. That is, take all the information, collect all the information, reproduce the information. That is different from the realization and the Supreme Lord revealing all the knowledge. But that will happen with a sincere person who is continuously hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the heart gets cleansed. The Lord is doing this and directing everybody, the devotee. So the inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart and of the contamination. This is complete Bhagavatam. Prabhupada is writing here. Lord's inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart of all contamination produced by the material modes of passion and ignorance. What is that? Very nice verse. This is a verse in Srimad. All these are verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada is very nicely telling what is the process. The Lord is coming first hearing. Sanvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtanah hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhritsatam. So what is that? Srinvatam swakata Krishna. Srinvata means hearing, Sravanam. Srinvata swakata Krishna, Krishna's kata. Punya shravana kirtanah. So we do Sravana and Kirtana. What happens? Hridayantasto hi abhadrani. In Hridaya, there are so many abhadra. Unnecessary, unwanted things. All are cleansed. Vidunoti suhrit satam. Then Supreme Lord is situated within the heart. And gradually, step by step, these verses also mentioned. The non-devotees are under the sway of passion and ignorance. This goes away. People try to develop sattva guna from outside, Suddha Sattva, impossible. But a devotee will casually get settled in the Suddha Sattva because he is attached to Krishna. So, rajastamo bhavo kamalo bhadayaschaye chetaye tairanaviddam stitam sattve prasiddhati. Evam prasanna. So very, very nice verses which describes the process of how the Lord gets situated within the heart of a devotee. So this passion and ignorance are removed, and the material hankerings are all gone. So when we have the ignorance and hankering, I want this great hankering and ignorance, then the Lord, we cannot know the Lord. So all this will get away by continuous process of hearing. And after hearing, his heart becomes cleansed, then the Lord becomes situated within the heart. So for a devotee, the mode of passion and ignorance are removed by the grace of the Lord. In this way, the devotee becomes by the grace of the Lord, not by our endeavor. So the difference between devotional service or bhakti yoga and the other yoga system is the other yoga system, the personal endeavor, the sadhana. No, we don't call even chanting a sadhana. This is a wrong word used. Prabhupada very hard. He doesn't use the word sadhana. I don't know where from this word came, sadhana. Sravanam Kirtanam is devotional service. 9 processes of bhakti are there. So bhakti, that is also seva. Chanting, hearing, all these are seva only. For a devotee, the mode of the sadhana means personal endeavor. And of course, we show our endeavor to Krishna by chanting and hearing. But that is not the way to achieve the Lord. The Lord will give Himself to you. If you are a devotee, out of that love, seeing that love, the Lord will give Himself. So, for a devotee, the mode of passion and ignorance are removed by the grace of the Lord. So, it will be so clean. When we try to clean, it is very difficult. So, the chanting of Hare Krishna, the Krishna is not different from the holy name. The holy name is doing that activity. In this way, the devotee becomes situated in the quality of goodness and becomes a perfect Brahmana. So that is why after chanting for a particular days, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then you should take a Brahmana initiation. So that is very important. Whether it's not that, okay, the persons who are going to do deity worship, they will become Brahmana. The persons who are preachers, they will become Bhakti Shastri. Not like that. Everybody should know Shastra. Everybody should become Brahmana. Even to teach scriptures, you should be a Brahmana. But that comes later. First, clear Shastrical understanding. Heart cleansing. All these has to happen. One should not hurry up. So in this way, the devotee becomes situated in the quality of goodness. This is the sign of a perfect Brahmana. Anyone can qualify to as a Brahmana if he follows the path of devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. So our Guru Maharaj is recommending a beautiful path. First, a non-devotee is there. The non-devotee will come. He will attend classes weekly once or maximum twice in a week, either in Zoom or mostly in person. And then he will listen to the classes, gradual progression of understanding of Krishna consciousness from the small books. And then he will come into 1 round, 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, like that. Gradually, in a period of 1 year, he will come into the process and then he will become initiated. After he becomes initiated, for initiation, of course, he'll read some books, basics for his own understanding. And then he will systematically read it in Bhakti Shastri after first initiation. And then he will qualify as Bhakti Shastri. Then he will do teacher's training course, become a teacher, understand the teacher, how to teach. And he won't start teaching unless he takes Brahmana initiation, the Bhakti Shastri. Then he will become a Brahmana. It takes Brahmana initiation. Then he can start teaching Shastric degrees. Till then, he can become Bhakti Vriksha leader, like this. And Bhakti Vriksha leader can also be a Shastra teacher to his Bhakti Vriksha members. And then, simultaneously, he will be reading Bhagavatam. He has become a Brahmana. He is a teacher. Then he will simultaneously reading Bhagavatam. Then he will attain Bhakti Vaibhava degree. Systematically read. And then Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhakti Vedanta is still 12th canto. So in this way, simultaneously being a student, at the same time being a teacher. So this is the guidance of bona fide spiritual master is already there for us. We have a bona fide spiritual master, who is very well bona fide disciple of Prabhupada. And right now he is present in the earth and guiding everybody very nicely. Every single day. Even an ordinary devotee who's full health cannot give class, but he is giving class every single day. No mental speculation. Directly devotional service only. No other this, that, you are a good person, become goodness and this and that and this. So the goodness is given by Krishna. The devotion is given. Devotion to Krishna is given by Guru. So expert spiritual master follow in the path of devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. Who can become? Anybody born in any caste, creed, religion, don't worry. Kirida, this is also in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami just starts speaking. There he is telling Kirida, Hunanda, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abira, Sumba, Yabbana, Kashadaya. There are many. Huna, Andhra. Kirida is one sect of people. Huna is another sect of people. Andhra, all of you know. Andhra, in interior parts of Andhra Pradesh, they wear big nose rings, big earrings. They are kind of tribes. They are called Andhras. So, and Pulinda, Pulkasha, Bira, Sumba, Yavana, Western people, Kashada or Chinese, anybody, all. And other people who are born even in the Papa Yonia, anybody, Papa Yoni, not within the Varnashrama system, don't know the Kula Kotra, nothing, that doesn't matter at all. Anybody, any low-born person can be purified by the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, for the Lord is extraordinarily powerful. The Lord is very powerful, and the pure devotee of the Lord will guide, then Lord will shower his mercy unlimitedly. Unlimitedly. This is not sentiment. This is devotional service. This sentiment is authorized, and because it's based on a science of Krishna. So when one attains Brahminical qualification, then he becomes happy and enthusiastic to render devotional service to the Lord voluntarily, not by force, not because I want that or nothing, just happily he will render. So automatically the signs of God is unveiled before him. There is more to know than the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Whatever more to know than that, it expands into, the Lord will reveal before his eyes. Even the spiritual world, like Lord Chaitanya, he showed the Antya-lila, how the spiritual world, many our acharyas have seen the spiritual world, entered into the spiritual world. In Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was doing Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, he saw Lalita Sakhi, he met her, he spoke with her, got her blessings, and came back. So in this way, it will be revealed automatically. We should not prematurely ask, when can I see that, when can I do that? No. So that is prematured, like a baby. It has to wait for 9 months to come out. But if it tries to come in 3 months, then it is dead, or it is a useless. Half of the limbs will be grown, half of the limbs are not grown. So it's a gradual process, but it's a very fast process, because within one lifetime we are attaining that. See how many years we wasted without Krishna consciousness. And when we started, which year of our life, when I am 20, when I am 21, when I am 23, I started. So 20 years we wasted. That's, and within the life, this particular life ends, we are getting prema. And with the premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena sandas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. So having that prema in our eyes and heart, then the Lord will reveal automatically himself. Lord revealing everything unto you is certainly different from, I want to go, I want to enter, I want to see, I want to. So we can have desire. Nothing wrong having a greed. Moraye abhilash vilas panchediyavas. Having a desire is not wrong. But that is not our motive. Our motive is to develop love for Krishna. When you have your motive as developing love for Krishna, automatically things are revealed in the right time. So till then, we just need to, like the baby has to wait for 9 months to come out. Then it's all the limbs are fully developed. Then it can have a beautiful life. So by knowing the signs of God, one gradually becomes free from material attachments, and one doubtful minds become crystal clear by the grace of Lord. So our aim is to know the signs, but signs of God. This is very important. Crystal clear, and by the grace of the Lord, everything is revealed to him. He can very easily see things. So one who attains this stage of liberated soul and can see the Lord in every step of life, he can see. After that, living here is such a bliss. This is the perfection of Sambhava, as described in this mantra. So Asambhava, Asambhava, this is described. The destination which a person attains by worshipping Supreme is different. And the destination who worships anybody else is different. So that is this mantra. I think we can close here. So we are coming to the, from tomorrow we'll see the last section about the prayers to the Lord to at the time of death. What kind of, how we need to pray, how we need to approach that. But actually, this is not the ultimate prayer, but how the Upanishads indirectly mentions the Lord, we can see here. And when we go to Bhagavad Gita, we will open up better. So we are first seeing the Upanishad, which is first written by Veda Vyas. Then when you will understand why he was dissatisfied and why then he wrote Mahabharata, and then he was still dissatisfied. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata, which is the essence of Upanishad, summary of Upanishad. But still he was dissatisfied. Then he wrote Bhagavad. So we are going step by step. We saw the Upanishad, which is so much indirectly mentioning about Krishna. Then we will go into Bhagavad Gita, where directly Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. And then we will enter into devotees, how they describe the process of devotional service, which are two Bhakti Shastri books. Okay, that is the system which we are going to follow. Even though this is little indirect for being a devotee, the indirect explanation of the Supreme Lord is a little irritating. But that is what Veda Vyas wrote, and he got irritated. Then he jumped into Bhagavatam, which is full of rasa and nectar. So then you will understand how Bhagavatam is so sweet, every verse is so sweet, and directly mentions about both Supreme Lord and the personality. That later, when you come to Bhakti Vaibhav, we will do. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm not going to close. I'm going to randomly ask people what they understood from today's session. Jeevish, what did you understand? Any salient point or anything? Because it looks like one-sided flow. So I just wanted to confirm if they're sleeping or people are awake or sleeping. Jeevish slept. Abhishek? वो सब सो गया यार. Okay. Raise your hands. Give any, go to the react and give any symbol. 4 people are, 5 of them are awake. Divya Rupa, Disha, Akarshak, Jayalakshmi and Navaneet, then Om Govindarai. The rest, all of them so gaya. Ayan Mandal is slowly coming in the office. He is in the call. And in the office he is attending. Thank you so much, Ayan, for being with me. Sadhanandini so gaya, Santushnitai so gaya, Preeti Priyanka so gaya. Who else? Haribol, are you there? Oblivion. Voice in the oblivion. एक्टिविटी देना पड़ेगा, क्या करेंगे? Okay, Ayan Mandal is in listening mode, so we don't have an issue. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasinduਭ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.